Yeah.
And we all look fabulous in our Halloween costumes.
We all look so spooky.
Yeah. Should we like...
Happy Halloween.
Oh. Hi.
Hi.
I'm a shy witch. Welcome to Who Fucking Knows, a podcast where three friends, a blonde, a brunette, and a redhead, discuss conspiracy theories, murder mysteries, and unknown phenomena that make you say, who fucking knows what happened. My name is Angela.
And you are
Oh, I'm a witch!
I didn't know we were doing that. I'm like, Taylor, it's your cue.
I'm Taylor, and I'm going as Poison Ivy.
I'm Lexy, and I'm just like a spider queen, I guess, so... Woo!
Last minute costumes put together.
Yeah,
and we look damn good, if I do say so myself.
Exactly. I agree. But happy Halloween, all you who fucking knowers. I hope you are having a spooky weekend.
Yay, spooky weekends.
And making the best out of it.
At the moon. Huh?
Making the best out of it, because it's a Halloween that's unlike any other. Not only is there a second full moon this month, but we can't touch candy and shit, so I don't know how that's going to happen.
Yeah. Will there be trick-or-treaters? Should I get candy ready? I don't know what to do.
Just throw it at them from 6 feet away.
Just
Meredith! Meredith is here too. This is our roommate, Meredith.
Hi.
She's a guest. She's here in the background quite often, and she's a big fan.
Yay!
So. Hi.
Well, I'm scared of all the stories, but I love it still.
Awesome.
So, should we talk about what we're drinking today, possibly?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I'm not focused. Taylor's not focused.
Focus, Taylor.
Come on. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. I might be a little blurry this time around, but I also don't have contacts in, and I'm not wearing my glasses, so, it's always fantastic. But yes, what are we drinking this week, Angela?
Well, we are having Electronic Bars Experience Passing Time, which is a pear thyme martini. Yes, I have a straw in mine because I'm at a hotel currently, and while there are glasses, I just don't feel like dirtying any because I don't have ice, and I've just been drinking it straight out of this. So this little drink, do you want to tell me about the flavor of it, Taylor?
It says Trinity Bay Siberian vodka, like my Siberian husky who's trying to escape. Anyway, is infused with ripe Bartlett pears for a week. Afterwards, a homemade syrup of pears. I know, I will let you out shortly. Afterwards, a homemade syrup of pears and fresh thyme is introduced to craft a delicate martini. Welcome yourself to autumn nights with every sip. Cheers.
Cheers, bitches.
Woo.
Ooh.
I like this one
that's
too.
Good.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's
too.
really good. Passing
I
time.
think the apple one, though.
The
apple one's my favorite so
The
far.
apple one was really good. Tasted like apple pie.
Yeah,
but
even
this is yummy
in
too.
comparison to the last round of drinks, the apple one was top-notch stuff.
Yeah, that one was good.
Oh, another reason why I'm drinking the straw is because I'm afraid that my blue lipstick / eyeshadow will not survive this.
Oh my goodness, mine not either.
Smart. What's nice about this one, which is what that's the apple temptation. This is the passing time. It's a fun pun, but it's not as sweet as the apple cider, which is probably why I like the apple cider more. But it's good if you don't like things quite as sweet.
I'm actually digging this one. I really like the pear.
Yeah.
Angela, we have a reason to drink this week, right? We're celebrating something.
Oh, I am here working, and part of my whole thing of being here is I'm training, and I had to be assessed for stuff or I wouldn't have my job, and I passed my assessment, so I have a job. Woo! I am employed. She has a job. Yay.
Other than being a podcast host.
Furthering career time.
Yeah. So now I gotta start entering the workforce. I'm a contributing citizen of society.
Yay!
Yay.
You have to pay taxes again.
Yay!
Lexy.
Hey.
Yeah.
Did you have a little blurb to tell us?
I have
before
a
we got
fun
into
little
stories?
fact. Maybe it's current. I don't know how long this has been happening. So, long story long, I'm back from Hawaii, right? My car has been sitting in my driveway for like a month. It's dead. And I need to call AAA, but I'm procrastinating. So I've been doing a lot of walking. So the other day I was walking downtown and this van passes me. And on it, it says something like, it's called Parodontics. It says, harvest your stem cells from your wisdom teeth. And I'm like, what the fuck? You can do that? And so I still have my wisdom teeth. And for the stem cells are like the magic cells. They can turn into any cell that you want. They have life-saving capabilities. They're kind of amazing. But anyways, they're hard to come by also. So I was Googling, and yeah, there's this company in Petaluma that harvests your stem cells from your wisdom teeth, and the prime time to do it is ages 15 to 24. Homegirl's 24. My stem cells are slowly deteriorating in my wisdom teeth, and I still have them. So even more motivation to go get my wisdom teeth out, aside from my random jaw pain, my RJP. If you guys have heard me complain about that. I'll say it casually, like, I have RJP, and someone's like, what? I'm like, random jaw pain? They're like, you expect me to know what that is? I'm like, yeah.
That's
but anyway,
crazy,
so
though.
Do either of you still have your wisdom teeth?
I got mine pulled earlier this year.
Damn it, Angela, I should have figured it out.
They stole my precious stem
They
cells.
probably harvested your stem cells and they're going to sell them.
You could have saved someone.
But
damn it.
yeah, so I just thought that was really interesting. I'm like, oh, I'm going to talk about this on the podcast if it's my week for a current event and I'm unprepared. But I am prepared. So,
when are we
fun
ever really
stuff.
prepared?
Yeah, exactly. Never.
Cool.
Alrighty, should we get into our stories?
Get into it.
Who's sharing first?
I believe it's Lexy.
Oh shit, it's me? Okay.
She's like,
We're
I'm just gonna
prepared.
drink my drink.
I was just like sitting back like, yeah, I did my duty. No, I'm kidding. Okay.
We're awkward.
Yeah, that's okay. So again, Halloween, spooky season. I'm going back to my roots with a bit of a ghost story for you. Mostly ghost story. There's some.
Dude, you should have
other
been a
things
ghost.
involved. I know, I should have. I should have just worn a sheet over my head. Oh, that would have been funny. Next year.
Next time.
Yeah.
Next time.
Okay. But my story is this. It's a place. It's a haunted road, actually. It's called Zombie Road. And I think I've done a haunted road before, but this one's different. I swear. I hope.
Okay. Are you promised?
Yeah. Okay, so this one so Zombie Road takes place in St. Louis, Missouri, I think. It's been called Zombie Road since the 1950s, and no one's really sure of the origin of the name, but some speculate that it's attributed to stories of the zombie killer, who was an asylum patient who escaped and was thought to kill people on this road. So the real name of the road isn't actually Zombie Road. It's like some boring name, Mermack Road. I don't know.
Screw that.
But the zombie killer allegedly lived in shacks near the abandoned road and would prey upon young lovers and kill them. So there's already some like bad energy, bad juju on this road for these weird happenings to occur. So the road was originally built in the 1860s. Oh, it's called Lawler Ford Road. That's the real name of the road.
Not the one that you just took.
Yeah.
Well, the one I made up next to a river called Mermack River, so I assumed that was the name of the road.
I was about to say, that's a very interesting, like, pull out of my ass kind of name. Mermack.
Merman. I know. That is the worst.
There we go.
Okay, so it's just like it's kind of in a forest. It was built to like bring in supplies for building railroads. There was a small community that lived back there, but it sort of dried up in the mid-1940s, and then the road was abandoned until then. And then there were the small riverside shacks that were also abandoned, which is where our friend, the zombie killer, allegedly used to live. So again, from the 1950s onward, Zombie Road was a frequent setting for scary stories. So you would go and take your date there and be like, you want to go to Zombie Road and get crazy and see some ghosts and, I don't know, have some sex and maybe get murdered. That's what people would do.
Well, you know.
Yeah. So, and it was also theorized that the people, that community that I mentioned, the village near on Zombie Road, they were Satanists. And there was also, it's funny, I was reading this article. Another thing on Zombie Road was an orphanage that caught on fire. And one of the comments was like, why is there always an orphanage and why does it always catch on fire? Yeah, why? So all of these children died as well. In the 1970s, a man was hit by a train, and it says that his ghost now haunts the area. There's no record of anyone dying on the railroad tracks around that time, but there was a woman who died in 1876, and so it's theorized that maybe she's actually the one that's doing the haunting and not the guy that died in the 70s, but either way, a lot of people see shadow figures or dark humanoid shapes. Humanoid shapes scare me so much.
Yeah, if they're shaped like something else, it's like,
I know.
But a humanoid,
Yeah.
it's like, you seem like you want me to trust you just so you can trick me and betray you. Or betray me.
Like, how dare you? But so Zombie Road has gotten a lot of attention from different like paranormal investigators. I believe Ghost Adventures did a segment on it. People have, all claimed to have caught footage. I don't know. Words. Captured. People have often claimed to have captured footage. I don't care if you edit that out or not. You can do what you want. My struggle. Footage of ghosts and different shadow figures or humanoid shadow figures. But it's interesting because even people that don't believe in ghosts, they claim to just really hate the road. They describe it as like claustrophobic, and they say that every time they go on it, it never seems to be the same length twice. So they'll be on it, and like, I feel like I've been on here forever. Like, what the hell? Which is kind of interesting. So it even gets the non-believers, which I like. In 2010, the road was repaved and now named the Rock Hollow Trail, and it's a 2.3-mile nature trail, which is now a community of, it's called Wildwood. So, but people still refer to it as Zombie Road, and it still has a very sinister reputation. But now people go on there with their bikes and they walk their dogs. Allegedly it's just a nice, happy road now. But again, people still claim to...
That's what it wants you to think. That humanoid figure that wants you to trust him.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's like...
It's gathering your trust so that he can fuck all you up.
Yeah, when you least expect it.
Mm-hmm. Oh. And you're not allowed to go there at night, which is kind of also questionable. It's like, okay, what do these people know? Why aren't you allowed to go at night? Probably just to keep out, the teenagers that are trying to make trouble. But if you are caught there at night, it's like a $1,000 fine on the nature trail. I think it's funny that they've completely tried to rebrand it, which is just interesting.
Nature trail.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's a nature trail now. I swear, come and walk your dog, please. But
I wonder if there's any like missing person like pattern cases over there.
I know.
Because maybe the locals sacrifice someone once a year so that it is a now happy road versus what it was.
Ooh, that would make a good horror movie.
We should dig into
trademark
this,
that shit. Zombie Road.
Britain, are you listening? Are you gonna write a movie about this song?
Yes. But
for those who don't know, my sister's a film student, so that's why I call her.
She's the best. But who fucking knows if Zombie Road is actually haunted or if it's just a bunch of urban legends and teenagers acting scared. But I mean, if there was once a serial killer there murdering people, there's got to be some bad energy. It's just
for sure
inevitable. But yeah, that was a bit of a quickie, but that's my story for you.
Ooh, that's fine.
Nice.
Before I start my story, I'm going to have to grab myself a beer because with the straw, this thing finishes really fast. And honestly, I feel a slight head change because I downed this thing.
Oh my god, that is so
we're
funny.
getting lit on a Friday night.
I love that.
Let me just
Oh my
finish this
god,
little.
that's hilarious. Just like it's like
I was holding off on that when Lexi was talking, so I'll be right
That
back.
is so funny. I love it.
While Angela is getting her drink, this is the opportunity that I'm going to take of send us your costumes if you decide to dress up this year on our Instagram, who FKEN knows. Maybe we'll post them to our story. Maybe I'll make a compilation. But like, I don't know. Even if you just dress up for this or you're dressing up and you post a photo and you want to tag us in it, like fucking do it. Who FKEN knows. Instagram.
I love that.
All right, so for my story this week, I am getting back to my roots. And if you've been listening, you know what my roots are.
Alien!
Yay.
While tending to the sheep on the family farm in Delphos, Kansas, 16-year-old Ronnie Johnson replied to his mother's call to come in for dinner, assuring her that he would be home very shortly. It was just before 7 p.m. on a quiet evening on the 2nd of November in 1971. So a low rumbling sound suddenly burst out of the dark night sky, followed by an intense display of bright multicolored lights. They were emanating. I added an N. Yeah. They were emanating from a mushroom-shaped object that was slowly making its way over to Johnson's land only several feet from the ground. The craft measured approximately 9 feet in width and 10 feet in height. Ronnie would later remember that the low rumbling sound was reminiscent of a washing machine. He also stated that although the entire object shone, it was the bottom of the craft that was by far the brightest, completely illuminating the ground below him. So Ronnie watched the object for what he thought was 5 minutes before the light intensified so much that it caused physical pain in his eyes. It grew brighter still before it suddenly moved away from the teenager and shot off into the air at great speed. Now effectively blind due to being plunged back into the darkness of the night, Ronnie slowly made his way back to his family home to inform his parents of what he had witnessed. By the way, I got this from www.ufoinsight.com, so I'll just throw that in right now. So the night's events would not only prove to be one of the most credible UFO encounters in history, but one of the few sightings that left behind physical evidence of its visit. So,
Proof.
Yeah, so if you see in the pictures I sent you, there's like a picture of him with his dog, right?
Oh,
You see that?
Hello.
Yeah, oh, the puppy.
Yeah, so this little doggy was with him when the whole thing went down, and he had been, as in the dog, he had been performing his duties and helping tend to the flock, so he was like a sheepdog. And following the events that evening, however, the usually eager and scare-free canine became withdrawn and refused to go outside after dark. So whatever he saw really freaked him out. And soon, the family flock became erratic and confused, and some of them even began jumping from their pens and running around in any direction as they could, looking for cover. So the animals were freaking the fuck out after this shit went down, and I think that's a sign that something really happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nature's freaking out here.
Yeah, so an aerial phenomena research organization, ARPO, investigator Clancy Toll took an interest in the incident and met with the family in the days following. He soon discovered that Ronnie appeared to have lost 30 minutes of time during the episode. Ronnie had claimed to Toll that the whole incident, from his mother calling him to dinner to him witnessing the UFO and then returning home to inform his parents, had taken no more than 5 minutes. However, according to Ronnie's mother, after she had called her son from the house, she and her husband had sat down to eat and had finished their meal before Ronnie returned. In her estimate, it was at least half an hour from her calling Ronnie to him returning to his house. At the site of the encounter itself, a number of trees had been badly damaged, with several large branches being snapped off. It appeared as though something heavy and powerful had inflicted the damage on them from above. There were no markings on the ground around the trees to suggest that the vandals were responsible for the damage. Perhaps the most interesting sight, though, certainly the most researched aspect of this case, was the mark that was left on the ground directly below where the craft had hovered over Ronnie. So if you look at the pictures, you can see kind of like the trees, and I think the one with the trees, that's like a few years after. But if you go down, you can kind of see one that is kind of horrible quality, but give them a break. It was decades ago. It's like the horizontal photo with a white line in it. And you can kind of see that's like the dirt. There's like a ring.
Shit.
Yeah. It's creepy.
Yes.
It's like just a random circle ring in the middle of the like ground.
Mm-hmm. So in the dirt and mud where Ronnie stood to observe the object that evening was a strange ring that glowed brightly even in broad daylight. When she had first seen it, Miss Johnson had reached down to touch the glowing ring and had instantly felt a numb feeling in her hand. This caused her to panic, and she then would instinctively brush her hand on her leg to remove whatever it was on her fingertips, and instantly she felt the strange numbing sensation on the top of her leg, and that lasted for several days.
What the several days?
Yeah. So
fuck?
Whatever this is, it's like fucking with them when they touch it. And let's see. Although the ground itself felt cold to touch, it glowed so much that it appeared to be ablaze. And while all around the ring, the ground was soft and muddy, the ring and soil directly underneath was bone dry. The ring would remain visible for some time after the incident, and numerous soil samples would go in for initial analysis, as well as to store as evidence of the presumed visitation. A strange white substance was found within the soil, a substance that appeared to be the result of intense unnatural reaction. So you can see the picture where the ring, and you can see kind of like green stuff growing in the middle of it. That photo was taken 3 years after the initial ring was made. So like 3 years later, it was still there. The white substance that was made up the ring was later analyzed by a respected UFO researcher, Jacques Vallée, who in his book Dimensions, a casebook of alien contact, offered his theory on what it might be. He stated that biological tests he had done on it showed that the white substance contained actinomyces tails, an organic organism similar to bacteria or fungus. Some would suggest that intense heat or another form of energy would result in the acceleration of this bacteria to grow. The fact that there was a ring would suggest an energy source from the underside of the strange craft. And he would say, or because Ronnie said that it was very bright underneath it, so they think it was some kind of energy emission. So one particular interesting thing was that there was a high concentration of oxalic acid, and upon studying the results of the soil analysis, Dr. J. Robert Mooney would offer that such high concentrations of the acid in the soil of the circle may suggest the use of a low temperature ionization or combustion engine at the site, the fuel source of which would be elemental carbon. So Mooney would further argue that as the carbon gases would largely escape into the atmosphere, they expel acids which would concentrate in the soil beneath the exhaust. So as a fuel, elemental carbon would make sense as it contains high energy density and is transport safe. So like pretty much it's like if this was a craft that was there, then it possibly was running on carbon and emitting these gases that kind of messed up the soil underneath it.
Weird.
Yeah, so it's like, that'd be crazy. So in terms of credibility, the presence of the ring on the ground would appear to be the key to this incident. All notes and records suggest that not only were the Johnsons family honest and highly unlikely to be behind a bizarre hoax, but that officers and journalists who witnessed the ring in the days immediately following were both impressed and amused with it. For example, police records show how the ring was dry to the touch, while the soil around it was damp from the remains of the recent snowfall. Even more amazing, several weeks later, when investigators performed further examinations of the ring, which was still visible, they would find that no matter how hard they tried to pour water onto the soil of the ring, it would simply run off as though the soil was waterproof. So I sent you a link to a YouTube video, and if you watch that at 8:07, the timestamp, it's like years and years later, more recently, they took samples from the ring, and the ring is still present, and they do like that water test on it where they take samples from, I think it was 50 feet or 50 yards, whichever, away from the ring. They took soil samples from it and poured water on it, and the soil just absorbs it right away. And then they have soil samples from the ring itself, and when they pour the water on it, it just kind of rolls off.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so I thought that was strange.
This is fucking crazy. Just bloop. And it just like, nah, man, I'm not going to get wet tonight. I have my raincoat on. Like,
Wow, that is weird.
I don't know if we can insert that video here or not, but you should definitely check it out. Link is going to be somewhere, I'm sure, because Angela is not only a witch, but a wizard.
That is weird and spooky.
Yeah. Perhaps a lesser known fact is that another sighting actually took place in the state of Kansas that evening, this time in the town of Minneapolis. There, Lester Arnsberger, a reserve police officer and another credible witness, would report seeing a similar object from a distance. So this thing, whatever it was seen in different
Making
places
its rounds
in the same state.
in Kansas.
Yeah, so
whatever room.
I don't know.
Who fucking knows?
So while investigators, by and large, dismissed the idea of a hoax as unlikely, many others would remain unconvinced. Perhaps one of the loudest skeptic voices was that of Philip Klass. He said that the ring was not from a spacecraft, but instead was the result of sheep pee. So I guess like he claimed that they used to have a watering type thing for the sheep there, and I guess the sheep used to hang out drinking water and pee in that area. So he said that he thought that's what it was.
Circle?
Yeah, and then another thing that skeptics brought up.
How would
there are plenty of sheep that pee
soil from
This
getting-
doesn't happen.
Yeah, and why would they pee in like a perfect
circle? It's
circle?
fucking
You
weird.
know?
I doubt.
and the soil and the water test.
I don't think sheep pee does that.
Sheep pee won't
No.
Yeah,
stop.
I
Pee
don't
is
know
mostly
who
water,
Philip Klass
so-
was, but he just
Fuck off, man. Fuck
yeah.
off.
Who are you? Do you even go here? I'm just kidding.
Non-believer.
So another detail that skeptics kind of rip apart is that the family was actually rewarded $5,000 by the National Enquirer in 1973. So let me see. The incident happened in 1971. So 2 years later, they were received $5,000, which was a lot of money in that time.
Yeah,
Fan, I
that
guess.
is a lot of money.
A lot of money right now.
I'll
Yeah.
take $5,000.
Yeah.
It's like 5 months rent.
So apparently they received the best, most credible or believable UFO case. They got awarded for something like that, which is good for them, I guess. But a lot of people are like, they did it for the money. But it's how could you predict that if it happened 2 years later after the matter?
Who has ever gotten
Yeah.
money for claiming a UFO thing?
Yeah,
understand.
so it's I don't know. So pretty much the Delphos UFO incident is an important case due to the physical evidence left behind, aka the ring. But despite that the existence of the rings, a lot of people think it might be a hoax still. And who fucking knows though? Who fucking knows why a strange craft would land on the Johnsons' farm that evening? and maybe it was there to check out their farm and like kill their soil for who knows what reason. I don't know, but yeah,
Weird.
that's my
Good
story
fucking
pretty
story.
much.
I love it.
So, yeah, it's kind of
I
weird.
love how it's like just a random ring.
Yeah,
It's not one of the, and like what's interesting is that a lot of UFO shapes that are claimed to be UFO are all like crop circles.
rings.
Yeah, they're like
circular shape. Like what's up?
Why do
with
they like circles
circles
so much?
Yeah.
I can't even draw a circle.
Why do you like circles so much?
they like circles and triangles because apparently there's been
What
a lot of
about
triangles.
rectangles?
Oh, and that reminds me, there was actually, this is unrelated to my story, but kind of related to my story. But recently there was a video from Hawaii.
Oh my god, I was gonna text you guys
it was
this.
like a triangular.
It's been popping. I
Huh?
saw that, and people have been seeing it in the sky. And even like when I was there, my parents and brother and his girlfriend, they're like, "Have we been seeing some weird shit in the sky lately?" I'm like, "Whoa!" But I saw that, Angela, in Hawaii. It's been multiple people have
so that's
seen whatever
crazy.
that is. It's weird.
Yeah. Creepy. Can't deny what multiple
Yeah.
people see and what people have caught on camera.
All of you
and
people,
stuff.
it's a
Like, something's
hoax.
going
Get
on.
over yourselves. Just come on.
Yeah, like what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Believe.
That's a very expensive and elaborate
Yeah,
hoax
seriously.
right there.
Yeah, just believe.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Alrighty, so
Or else curse you.
oh,
She's a witch. She'll hex you.
don't fuck with witches.
I'm gonna put my
So
straw in my
I'm
beer.
also going back to my roots, which is just a horrible murder or a serial
Sweet. We're all
killer.
going back to
So
our roots tonight.
Yeah, we are.
yes, so this I'm gonna try something new because this story is just so juicy and so much and like kind of recent updates as well that I'm going to do it over a course of 2 episodes. So this is part 1. I'm going to introduce this villain and all of its victims this week. And then next week, I'm going to go into a bunch more other shit that we'll go over next week.
Keep them
Anyway.
coming back for more.
Buckle up, it's going to be a ride. Okay, so I am going to talk about the Monster of Florence. Have either of you heard of this?
I don't. Florence, Italy, or Florence, where? Okay,
Florence,
I've never
Italy.
heard of it.
So this monster went on a rampage from 1968 to 1985, and there is a total of 16 victims that we know are linked to the monster. There is very well could be way more. They were all couples that were found parked in the countryside during new moons. Just
Weird.
Whoa.
to let you know.
Weird.
Watch out if you're in Italy. Tonight's a new moon, yo. Or tomorrow.
Exactly. Be careful, y'all. So all of this information is coming from theatlantic.com and also Wikipedia. So it turns out that there have been several investigations into these murders over the years. There is also a book that was written by an American thriller writer, Douglas Preston, and an Italian journalist, Mario Spezzi, called The Monster of Florence. I also found an article at The Atlantic written by Preston, and that details Spezzi's career-long coverage of the murders, along with the 2 investigations into the killings, which took a twist. So essentially, I'm going to go over the killings this episode with both just Wikipedia knowledge and then also Spezzi's. He was one of the journalists who followed the case and had a lot to do with the case. And then part 2 next week, I'm going to go more into Douglas and Spezzi's encounters, because Douglas and Spezzi actually met in Italy, and they were like, I'm really obsessed with this. You're really obsessed with this. We're fucking buddies. Let's like look into this and interrogate people and stir some shit up and get kicked out of Italy. So that's what next week is about.
That sounds like a homie to have
Yeah.
right there.
right?
Let's fucking investigate this shit. Who cares what happens?
So the first victims are this is all Italian names, and we all know Taylor
Yay,
can't
my
speak English
favorite.
well, so just like fucking deal with it, people. So our first victims are Pasquale Genticore, who is 19, and Stefania Pettini,
so
who is
young.
18. They were found September 15th, 1974, and they were just lovers in the night, enjoying the countryside. And one of my favorite quotes from the article was like, for most of these couples, what a summation was in an article that I had read written by Spetsy was, they're just all lovers in the night trying to escape living at their family's house to have some alone time. And like, I'm just like, so they're fucking
No, Taylor, they're lovers in the night.
Exactly. However you want to romanticize it. Unfortunately, it was cut short because it's sad. So there wasn't much information about this first couple, so I'm just gonna jump into the next couple, which are Giovanni Foggi, who is 30, and Carmela De Nucio, who is 21. They were
Giovanni Foggi.
There we go. I'll just have Angela say all the names.
No.
They were found June 6, 1981. They were both engaged. And so Spetsy was 35 and covering the crime desk at La Nazione, Florence's leading paper, when a call came in. A young couple had been found dead in a quiet lane in the hills south of town. Spetsy lived nearby and went to the crime scene and got there before the police. He will never forget what he saw. The Tuscan countryside, dotted with olive groves and vineyards, lay under a sky of cobalt blue. A medieval castle, framed by cypress trees, crowned a nearby rise. The boy seemed to be sleeping in the driver's seat, his head leaning on the window. Only a little black mark on his temple, and the car window shattered by a bullet, indicated that it was a crime scene. The girl's body, this gets a little graphic by the way, the girl's body lay some feet behind the car, at the foot of a little embankment, amid scattered wildflowers. She had also been shot and was on her back, naked except for a gold chain, which had fallen between her lips. Her vagina had been removed with a knife. Quote, what shook me the most.
Oh man, that hurts. That just hurts. That's
awful.
You know, like, I feel like we've come across penises that have been removed.
Yeah,
but this, you know, it didn't really impact me like this one. Because what the?
Mm-hmm. Sorry, this is a common theme of this murderer.
Oh God.
Yeah. So Spetsy said, what shook me the most of all was the coldness of the scene. I'd seen many murder scenes before, and this wasn't like any of them. End quote. Everything was unnaturally composed, immobile, with no signs of struggle or confusion. It looked, he said, like a museum diorama. Due to the sexual nature of the crime, it was assumed that the killer was a man, and yet the medical examiner's report noted the killer had not sexually assaulted the woman. On the contrary, he had ostensibly avoided touching her body, except to perform a mutilation so expert that the medical examiner speculated he might be a surgeon or a butcher. Butcher.
A butcher.
A butcher. He was a butcher.
Thank you. The report also noted that the killer had used a peculiar knife with a special notch in it, probably a scuba knife. Spetsy's article caused a sensation. It revealed that a serial killer was stalking the countryside of Florence, because he was the one who made the tie between that first couple that I mentioned briefly and this couple. Wow. In a sidebar next to the article, La Nazione pointed to something that police had overlooked. This killing was similar to a double homicide that had taken place in the hills north of Florence in 1974. The article prompted the police to compare the shells recovered for both crimes. They discovered that the bullets had been fired by the same gun, a .22 caliber Beretta, a long barrel firing Winchester Series H, copper jacketed rounds, which, according to ballistic experts, probably came from the same box of 50. The gun had a defecting firing pin that left an unmistakable mark on the rim of each shell. So it's like very distinct that this is the same gun that shot it, and in the same like case or package of bullets as well. So it's most definitely the same person who committed it, or at least the same gun.
Yeah, I'm still hung up on the fact that he removed
I know.
It'll be okay. Your vagina's still there.
For now.
I hope. Oh, God. I hate everything right now. Okay. A few months later, the killer struck again on a Saturday night with no moon, this time north of Florence, using the same Beretta and performing the same mutilation. this couple is Stefano Baldi, who was 26, and Susanna Camby, who was 24. They were found October 23rd of 1981, and they were both engaged.
Oh.
So, according to Douglas, the writer who spent a lot of time with Spetzi, who was the journalist, Spetzi wrote about one suspect, a priest, who frequented prostitutes for the thrill of shaving their pubic hair, which is odd.
A priest?
The thrill?
Of shaving pubic hair.
Thrill?
I'm pretty sure that's not holy.
No. He wrote about a psychic who spent a night in the cemetery where a victim was buried, sending and receiving messages from the dead. Spetzi's articles became famous for their dry turns of phrase, and that one wicked little detail that remained with readers long after their morning espresso. Florentines have a flair for conspiracy thinking, and the citizenry indulged in wild speculation. Spetzi's articles were a counterpoint to the hysteria. Understated and ironic in tone, they crushed one rumor after another and gently pointed the reader back to the actual evidence. So he was almost like a buffer for everyone freaking out about, like, there's someone stalking the night and killing all these young people. And he's all like, yeah, but you don't need to be worried about this. Let's start thinking about this, right?
Oh, he was trying to distract them for some reason?
Not distract them, but like, okay, you're all caught up on this, but just remember this is happening on the countryside and it's two lovers. So if you're not in the situation, you're good.
You're single, you're safe.
Oh, we might get there.
Fuck.
So the next couple that I'm going to go over, oh shit. Oh, here. This photo. Sorry for Nope. Yep, this one. Okay. Sorry for the blackness there for a second. YouTube. So Paolo Mainardi, who's 22, and Antonella Miglaroni, who is 20, were found
Antonella Miglaroni. Sorry.
June 19th, 1982. It's fine. It's not like it's my story or anything.
I'm like, I'm like,
I love it. Angela chugged her
I'm
drink.
ashamed to admit how, like, much I'm feeling stuff right
Yes! Angela gets drunk.
A straw, man, helps you drink things really fast. This beer is almost gone. So.
Oh my god! You're drinking a
yes.
beer with a straw? That's fucking wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but my lipstick is gonna fuck
Redo
up.
your lipstick.
My lipstick.
But I like how it looks.
It looks good.
Okay, you win there. Okay, so Paolo and Antonella, they were found June 19th, 1982. They were both engaged. The same gun was used and the same inexplicable mutilation performed. 12 days later, an anonymous letter arrived at police headquarters in Florence. Inside was a yellowed clipping from La Nazione, written by Spetzi, about a forgotten 1968 double murder of a man and a woman who had been having sex in a parked car. Scrawled on the article was a bit of advice, quote, "Take another look at this crime." So this is in like the 1980s that their attention was brought to this double homicide in similar, standing or
Yeah.
what's the word that I'm looking for? Now I'm at a loss of word. Like context or like you know what I'm saying.
I know what you mean. I can't think of the word
similar
either.
scenario.
Thank you.
Yeah, scenario.
So
The drunk one figures it out.
So Antonio LoBianca, who's 29, and Barbara Losisi was 32, and this is the couple that I'm showing right now. They were found August 21st, 1968. They were the murder that was pointed out by presumably the killer saying, like, take a look at this crime. Bitch, I did it too. And a fun fact about this is that they were both, making out, doing their thing in the countryside. However, they were both married to other people.
The scandal.
Big scandal. Investigators rifled through their old evidence files and found that through a bureaucratic oversight, the shells collected in 1968 had not been disposed of. They were Winchester Series H rounds, and each one bore on the rim the unique signature of the monster's gun. They had charged and convicted Barbara's husband for the murders back in the day, like 20 years before. He had even confessed to the crime, doing it out of jealousy. However, he was in jail during the other attacks, so how was the same gun used if he wasn't the one who had done it?
Wait, so he did it out of jealousy, and did he have relation to them?
Yeah,
Sorry,
so this is Barbara's husband who was accused and tried, and he was like, yeah, I did it. Like, I was jealous. And it's like, wait, but like this gun was used in other murders that are tied to the monster that happened while you were in jail. So what?
Does he have kids?
I don't know.
So
that individual, his name is Stefano Mele, who is former husband of Barbara, by the way, was a priest that ran a halfway house in Verona. Spezzi was able to interview him after he was released from prison. So after he left prison, he's like, I'm gonna become a priest. Why not?
Wait, same priest or different priest with the pubic hair obsession?
I don't know. I don't know if we get back to that, but that's what was at the beginning.
Okay, I'm gonna say different.
I think it's a different priest. Because this guy was in jail, right?
Yes. So he was in jail for the most of the murders, but the first couple that was killed with the same gun as the monster actually happened in 1968. He was convicted of that crime. And when he was released after being like, oh, you couldn't have done it type of thing, he became a priest.
Okay.
And Spezzi decided to go and interview him after he was released from prison. He mumbled rambling answers to Spezzi's questions, his words defying interpretation. Then, at the end, he said something odd. They need to figure out where that pistol is, he said. Otherwise, there will be more murders. They will continue to kill. They will continue. Who's they, you may ask?
They. Like, is that a group, or is that like one person that he doesn't want to specify the gender of?
Yeah,
that would be very advanced for him, way before his time, and way to go for the priest, but definitely not that. So I'll get into the speculations of what that is referring to in part 2. But just remember that he knows about this gun, and he's suspecting that others will continue to kill with this gun unless this gun is found.
And she leaves us with a cliffhanger.
Oh, I'm not done. I'm not done. We're going to keep talking. So Spezzi grasped something the police would also learn. Stefano Mele, who was the priest, had not been alone the night in 1968, the night that his wife and lover were killed. It had not been a spontaneous crime of passion, but a delitto di clan, a clan killing in which others from Mele's Sardinian circle had participated in. Oh, I guess you kind of know a little bit now. So, investigators theorized that one of the killers had enjoyed the experience so much that he had gone on to become the Monster of Florence using the same gun. So it was like a planned event that they were going to kill Barbara and her lover for the guy who became a priest, and then one guy was like, oh, I actually like killing people, so I'm going to continue killing people with this gun that we used on your wife.
That wording, though, enjoyed the killing so much. It's just fuck. People are fucked up.
Yeah, right?
To, have enjoyment and, it's so just a trip.
So on September 9th, 1983, the next couple was found, which here is a picture of them. Nope, not them. Actually, it's this couple. Nope, it's not that one. Fuck. Taylor's having a hard time finding photos. Come on.
Okay, while you're having a hard time finding photos, I'm going to finish my beer with a loud, obnoxious noise.
Finish it up.
All right, we're good.
Alrighty. So Wilhelm Friedrich Horstmeyer was 24, and Jens Uwe Rusch was an age that I did not write down, but they were both found September 9th, 1983. They were both in town celebrating winning a scholarship, both males. Jen's had long blonde hair and may have been mistaken as a female by the attacker. The two are believed to be gay lovers. So that's kind of like a fun little fact. Like, the monster attacked a couple that were same sex, and it's like this, like, so they diverged from it, but it was with the same gun. So there is a chance that since the one guy had the long blonde hair, that the killer didn't know that they were both male until after it happened.
Interesting. And then
Which
he's
is
like,
unfortunate.
I have no vagina to steal.
We don't even fit your demographic, man.
Oh, we can't name the
No.
We can't name the episode of Vagina to Steal because that's just fucked up. But
it's horrible. But there was no vagina to steal. Fucking asshole. And only assholes steal vaginas. Fuck this guy. First of all, I do not condone it at all.
That's a good title. Only assholes steal vaginas.
Okay. We got a little off track. It's okay. Let's go back on track.
This is completely on track. It's his
I'm
MO. He
sorry.
steals vaginas, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
And fuck him.
We're focusing on
fuck
that.
him. Okay. Well, it's awful. Like, we can't get it off our minds.
I'm sorry.
Taylor.
Like,
we can't get it off
that
our
really
minds.
hit home.
I guess since I read this so long ago that I've become numb to
You're
it.
sensitized.
My knee is hurting.
Gosh.
Okay, so blah, 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 blah. So you know how I mentioned how the priest was part of some cult, and like they're inferring that this cult was the one who started the death, and then one of those cult members got really into it.
Mm-hmm.
So one of those people that the police suspected were Francesco Vinici, and he was in jail when the killer struck this couple.
Sorry. I just imagine the killer having a stroke in the middle of
Okay, that's way cleaner than I was thinking. So.
Oh, you imagine him stroking.
You imagine him masturbating? Oh, God.
I just imagine someone like
we need like an X. What's the word?
We might not
Explicit
even be
warning.
able to put this one on YouTube. Like, I don't even know.
This one's X-rated.
X-rated, yeah.
Yeah, X-rated, not for kids.
It's very phallic.
Not for
right
children. Not for children.
Explicit. We're explicit. Halloween. Woo! Full moon.
Happy Halloween. It's the full moon. This is our energy is just all over the place. Mercury's still in retrograde. It's just kind of a mess.
I can't believe I'm just gonna. I don't know if we're gonna put this in here, but that martini thingamajigger. Really, I don't know if it's because I drank it super fast, but I feel way more than I felt yesterday when I had one beer, and like like right now I'm feeling like I've had more than just 2 drinks.
We also haven't eaten dinner yet, so we did this before.
Right.
That is true.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Empty stomach.
There it is. There's the missing component. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, guys? What's in this potion?
Right.
What is in the potion? It's thyme and vodka and fall.
Is it thyme or time? I don't know.
Okay. Let's pull it in. We only have a couple more really bad things to go through, okay?
Woo.
Deep breaths.
Okay.
We got this. Back on track. So even though Francesco was in jail when this murder happened, the authorities refused to release him. They believed that one of his relatives had tried to throw them off by committing a new murder using the same gun, or at the very least that Francesco knew who the monster was. Investigators became suspicious of another member of the clan, Antonio Vincenzi, and arrested him on firearm charges. They grilled the 2 men relentlessly, but were unable to break them, and finally were forced to release Antonio. Francesco remained in custody. 4 months later, the police electrified Florence with an announcement, and once again, Spezzi had the scoop. La Nazione carried the banner headline. This is Italian. I have been drinking. There is no hope, but here it goes. Mostri sono 2. There are 2 monsters, is what that is supposed to mean in Italian.
That wasn't that bad.
Yeah. Thank you. Spaghetti.
I expected worse.
Gold star for Taylor. 2 other members of the Sardinian group who were apart with the priest whose wife was killed with the same gun both suspected of having been present in the 1968 Klan killing, which was that first couple. And they were arrested and charged with being the Monster of Florence. Francisco Vincini was finally released. All winter, the police worked on the two men, desperately trying to extract confessions and develop their case with no success. So, like, again, they're pretty sure it's, like, these people, and, like, nothing is coming across, nothing is connecting the dots. They're not admitting to it, and so it kind of feels like another misfire. And here comes another couple that ends up dead. It's very depressing, but here we are.
Of course.
So, Claudio Stefanazzi, who's 21, and Pia Gilda Rotini was 18. They were found July 29th, 1984, and they had been dating. Again, he left the empty shells which had become, perhaps intentionally, his calling card. He mutilated the woman, and adding a new horror, amputated and carried away her left breast. This killing, which had occurred outside of Vecchio, the birthplace of Giotto, triggered a nationwide outcry and generated headlines across Europe. 6 times the monster had attacked, killing 12 people while the police had arrested and then been forced to release a steady stream of suspects. The government offered a reward of roughly $290,000 for information leading to the capture of the monster, the highest bounty in Italian history. Still to this day, by the way, warning posters went up and millions of postcards were distributed to tourists entering Florence, advising them not to go to the hills at night. So
we really need a mug or a shirt that says "Words are hard."
Like, we really do. Distributed. I think we've all in this episode have said something wrong.
It's all good,
which is great.
I've said multiple.
I'll make a sticker. You know what? Stickers are in our budget. I could do that.
So
wait, Taylor. When were they warning tourists not to go into the hills? What year are we in now? Are we in the 80s?
We are in 1984.
Holy shit, that's terrifying.
Crazy time, the 80s.
Yeah, it was.
So the final couple, which is Jean-Michel Crabby Chabilli, who was 25, and Nadine Mariotte, who's 36, were found September 7th, September 8th in 1985. They were both lovers, and they were visiting, and they were camping. So, according to the reconstruction of the crime, the killer approached the tent and with the tip of a knife made a 12-inch cut in the fly. The campers heard the noise and unzipped the front lap to investigate. The killer was waiting for them and opened fire, hitting the woman in the face. What?
I said never investigate. Don't investigate.
Never. Just go under the covers and pretend everything is okay.
Be an internet sleuth. You know, do it from a distance. Nowadays, in the 80s, you couldn't do this, but nowadays, your IP address, just protect it, you know?
The campers... We've lost it. It's okay. If you're still listening,
I've lost it. You guys are so put together.
So
what the
fun. This is the most fun I've had in a while.
We're sorry that we're a little extra special for the holiday friends, but if you're still listening, we appreciate you.
Our favorite holiday.
I gotta know, did you guys finish your drink? No, you guys are...
No, I'm on wine. I have a glass of wine.
I finished mine.
Now.
This is my only drink because I don't want to get up and miss the story, but that's okay. I feel good.
We're good. 2 more paragraphs. The campers heard the noise and unzipped the front flap to investigate. The killer was waiting for them and opened fire, hitting the woman in the face and the man in the wrist. The woman died instantly, but the man, an amateur sprinter, dashed out of the tent and fled towards the trees. The killer raced after him, intercepted him in the woods, and cut his throat, almost decapitating him. The young man's blood stained the tree branches above to a height of 10 feet. The killer returned to his female victim to perform the usual ritual mutilation, and again he carved out and carried off with her left breast.
So this is the second
what about her
left
vagina?
breast that he's taken?
Did he take the vagina and the left
ritual
breast?
mutilation is my way of saying he took the vagina without wanting to say that. So thank you.
Okay, I just gotta know.
So pretty much,
I didn't know if he changed his ritual to left breast because that was the second time he did that. You know?
This is his second breast and his 8th vagina.
Oh,
damn. At least he does it when they're dead. You know,
hopefully, right?
That's what happened. Yeah. She got shot in the face. And
okay,
you know, like at least she's dead. That's the only thing. I'm like, okay, All right.
And, like, keep
Fuck.
in mind, the precision that he has can only be, like, done if the person's not moving or, like, anything. So I'm just going to assume
you're right.
that
Okay.
everyone was dead at that point. Just for
Well,
my own
okay.
heart.
That's
and want.
good.
All right.
So my last
That's reassuring.
Yes. The last little thing that I want to end here with before we go into part 2 next week is on Tuesday after the last couple was found in the early of September 1985. One of the prosecutors in the case, Sylvia Della Monica, received an envelope in the mail. It had been addressed like a ransom note with letters cut out of magazines, and inside was the victim's left nipple. As with everything else, the killer had been careful not to leave fingerprints. He had even avoided sealing the letter with his tongue. Yep, and that's how I
I just
leave
clenched my boobs in fear.
Yeah.
Yep, that's my fucked up story for you. Part 1. Part 2 will be a little bit cleaner,
Please
but it will
tell me
not
they
be any
catch
fun.
this guy. Fuck. I guess we'll have
You
to come
gotta
back
listen
next week to find out. Fuck him.
And-
He makes me so angry. I'm just assuming it's a man too. I mean, it could be a woman, but also fuck him. Her. Fuck them.
Like, if it was a woman, it could be the removal of her vagina could signify something of maybe of her own infertility or her unwantedness by male attraction or
Yeah.
or her confusion. She might be like trying to toy with different things. I don't fucking know.
Or like
Lesbian
maybe
in
she
the
was
80s.
betrayed one time.
She's burned by
like,
another
someone
woman.
cheated on her,
Yeah.
and she's like more angry at the woman than she is at the
Which I
man.
That's
appreciate
true.
because they're both horrible in cheating scenarios.
Yeah.
But like, wouldn't you want like to cut off a vagina and a dick, not just vaginas in
Yeah,
that case?
true.
Yeah, why do they
What if
why do
she's
why do they leave the dick?
lesbian whose lover cheated on her with some other woman? Then it's like you're just kind of vaginas at that point.
My God, this should not be a debate.
I mean,
I'm sorry for this very crude.
Either way, it's awful.
What?
It's horrible.
I'm just saying.
It's awful.
all these
The
possibilities.
amount of times we've said cutting vaginas in this episode is
If you
just
wanna-
too much.
Yeah, if you want to take penises out of the picture, that's how you do it. Just kidding.
Okay, I'm just gonna drink. How about you pull a card? Are you sober enough to pull a card?
Okay.
Drunk
Yeah,
tarot
hold on.
reading. Drunk tarot reading.
Yes.
Drunk tarot
Okay.
reading.
So because I'm in Arizona, I don't have. Oh, sorry. I don't have my cards, so I'm gonna just read a mantra and a little tarot card on my phone because I have apps for it. And the mantra for today is, my future is an ideal projection of what I envision now.
I envision still having my vagina in the future, so we're good there.
Yeah, please.
I'm sorry.
Please. And my boobs.
And
I
my
love you.
nipples.
I want all my body parts still a part of my body. Is that too much to ask?
And then we have a tarot card.
We're so
Let me
fucked
just-
up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. I apologize for any obscene things that I might have said during this
Same.
episode.
I really hope we
She's
didn't
drunk.
offend anyone, and that also we're not
I
like
think-
banned from everywhere. Like,
I love
Canceled.
everyone and every person,
Yeah.
no matter
Except for
what
those
you
that
go-
fucking
going
steal
on.
vaginas.
Yeah,
Fuck those
if you
people.
steal vaginas, then
we
I'll
just
fuck
hate
with
you.
you.
people.
but-
We hate
don't
you.
like killers
Or murderers.
So, tarot card. We got the Wheel of Fortune, which I like.
Ooh.
It's reversed though.
Oh shit,
God.
it's upside down. Fuck.
So it says no control, clinging to control, or bad luck. So I feel like right now I don't have any control. If I said any stupid shit, I'm sorry.
Oh no.
And it says a seemingly unstoppable series of events has occurred, and they are not in your favor. There is a feeling of general bad luck that you cannot control, leaving you in a state of helplessness. The great wheel always turns regardless of human desire, but what comes down will eventually come up back again.
Kind
Alright,
of dark,
cool.
but
At least- Gonna come up.
it's like the storm before the happiness of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? You learn from your low points.
Yes.
I feel like if everything was all good 100% of the time, then you're not going to
Then
develop as a
boring.
person.
You're not gonna
Yeah.
grow.
And if this is a
Yep,
low point,
so-
give us a chance and listen to a different episode. On
We
that
swear,
note, friends.
we're not always like this.
Good night.
Good night, friends.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.